Hey everybody, this is Tech Guy Charlie. Welcome to the channel. In this video, I'm going to show you the crucial settings and features that you should tweak and enable on your new Galaxy S25 Ultra to make it super functional and look awesome. Now, before we start, I'm assuming that you have completed the basic setup like connecting to Wi-Fi, signing into your Google and Samsung accounts, all that basic stuff you gotta do when you first switch your phone on. Also, during the initial setup, I've changed the display mode from light to dark, which changes the theme of the phone from white to black, which is easier on the eyes, especially at night. And once you're done with the initial setup, you'll be on the home screen. So let's take it from here. Alright, so one thing that I find difficult getting used to is the way you open Quick Panel on One UI 7. Now look, if you're using the phone with one hand, then you have to swipe down and then swipe to the left to open the Quick Panel. This kind of feels unnatural because previously you could just swipe down twice to open the Quick Panel. See how it feels more natural. Fortunately, we can revert this back to the way it used to be. So on your S25 Ultra, drop down the Quick Panel and tap on the pencil icon and then Panel Settings. And here, change this setting from separate to together. And that's it. Now the Quick Panel is gonna work exactly how it used to on your previous Galaxy. And with this change, you can also drop down the Quick Panel on the lock screen. So now your notifications and the Quick Panel are gonna work together. Oh, and you can also go back into the panel settings and enable the device control and media output buttons on the Quick Panel. So now you'll have access to the media output button with a single swipe. These little tweaks makes the phone a lot more usable. Alright, so now let's head on into the settings, scroll down and look for device care. Inside, you want to tap on the performance profile and change this to light. And this is going to do two things. First, it's going to make your battery last longer and it's going to make the phone run cool because the light mode prioritizes the battery life and cooling efficiency over processing speed. And no, you're not going to notice any difference in the performance in day-to-day use because the Snapdragon 8 Elite powering the S25 Ultra is insanely fast even in the light processing mode. But you will notice a substantial increase when it comes to the battery life. Now, speaking of the battery, if you want to prolong the overall lifespan of your S25 Ultra's battery, you want to tap on battery in the device care, and once you're inside, head on into battery protection and switch this on. You see, the thing is, keeping your battery full at 100% charge for a long time can reduce its lifespan. My recommendation is setting this to maximum and adjusting the charge level to 80 or 85%. But if you feel like 85% isn't lasting you the entire day, then you can increase it to 90 or even 95%. I'm gonna keep this at 85 because I think that's the sweet spot. So let's go back to the device care menu and here tap on auto optimization and then auto restart. Inside, switch on auto restart when needed. Now your phone will automatically restart whenever it detects that it's having performance issues. And if you'd like, you can also set your own restart schedule. I usually prefer the phone to restart on Monday 3 AM so that the phone is nice and fresh, ready for the week. Now, one feature which is completely unnecessary and should be switched off is the RAM Plus. And you'll find it inside memory and there it is. So this feature uses the main flash memory as the system RAM. By default, this is set to 8 GB, which I think is completely unnecessary on a phone like the S25 Ultra because you've already got 12 GB of dedicated system RAM. So it's a good idea to switch this off because you're gonna gain 8 GB of additional storage and it will also save your flash memory from additional wear and tear. Now, before we proceed any further, what you want to do is add a couple of useful toggle switches to the quick settings in the Quick Panel for the changes that we have made. So in the Quick Panel, tap on the pencil icon and then edit. Now from the available buttons, you want to add the performance profile, battery protection, wireless power share, and the toggle for the always on display. And these buttons will easily let you switch the settings on and off without actually going into the main settings of the phone. Extremely useful, right? So next, you want to head on into the settings and then display. Inside, tap on screen resolution and change this to QHD Plus for best and the sharpest image quality so that you can take full advantage of the gorgeous screen of your S25 Ultra. And don't worry, this does not increase the battery consumption. The hardware on the S25 Ultra is extremely power efficient. Alright, so next, go back into the display settings and then tap on font size and style. Inside, enable bold font. This is gonna increase the thickness of the font without changing its size. So this kind of makes the font a bit more legible. Also, I highly recommend that you head on into the font style and download the Samsung Sans font. And you'll notice that this font is far superior than what comes pre-installed on Samsung smartphones. And you can download this from the Galaxy Store. It's under top free fonts. Now, I've seen many people using the Samsung keyboard in its stock configuration without enabling all the awesome features that it comes with. For example, the gesture input is switched off by default. And gesture input is really cool. It allows you to type by swiping over the words and quickly type out your messages. So to enable this, tap on the settings button in the keyboard toolbar. Once you're in the settings, scroll down and tap on swipe, touch and feedback. Inside, tap on keyboard swipe controls and set this to swipe to type. Now you'll be able to type messages by swiping your finger over the words. It takes a bit of practice, but once you get a hang of this, you'll be able to type out long messages fairly quickly. Awesome, right? So let's make a few more useful changes to the keyboard. So once again, we are gonna head back into the keyboard settings. And this time, we're gonna tap on layout. And here, we are going to switch off the number keys and then enable the alternate characters. And you'll notice that this is gonna make the keyboard a little compact, and it also adds the number keys to the top word row of the keyboard. And you also get some additional characters. So while typing, you can long press to add the additional character or numbers to whatever you are typing. Just makes the keyboard a bit more functional and compact. Now let's make some crucial changes to the gallery. So the first thing we're gonna do is enable a feature that lets you scroll in full screen. Look how awesome the gallery looks. So if you want your gallery to look like this while you are scrolling, go to the gallery settings by tapping on these three lines and then select settings. Over here, enable full screen scrolling. So after enabling this, you will be able to scroll in full screen through your gallery. It just makes the gallery look super cool. Oh, and one more thing that I've noticed is that by default, the gallery does not show you every album that's on your phone. You'll have to tap on view all to see all your albums. And this can get very confusing at times. However, you can tap on these three dots and then tap on select essential albums and check the boxes of the albums that you want to see when you are in the album tab of your gallery. Now, if you don't like this feature, you can always switch it off by tapping on the hamburger menu and then going to the gallery settings and switching off select essential albums. Now the gallery is going to show you all the folders or albums that are on your phone. However, you still have the option to hide individual albums by going into this menu. So it's kind of pointless to have two similar features, so why not switch one of these off to avoid confusion? Now, I think the way you seek through videos on a Samsung smartphone is kind of annoying. So whenever you open a video, there is no video seek bar and you have to tap on the film strip to expand and then you will be able to seek through a video. This is fine for shorter videos, but for a longer video, it gets super annoying. Fortunately, we can tweak a setting in the gallery and bring back the good old video seek bar. Let me show you how. So when you're in the gallery, tap on the hamburger menu and head on into the settings. Scroll down and open About Gallery. When you're inside, repeatedly tap on the version until you see a message Gallery Labs is enabled. Then go back, scroll down and open Gallery Labs. Here, scroll down to One UI 3.x, change the video player mode from default to Legacy Video Seek Bar, and then quit the gallery. So now when you relaunch the gallery and open a video, it's gonna show a dedicated video seek bar. In my opinion, it's easier to seek through a video through this than the film strip. Now let's go back into the Gallery Labs, and here you can enable another feature called Timeline in Album. So once you enable this, whenever you open an album, so let's open the camera album, you'll notice that all your photos and videos are now grouped by date. So this is a side-by-side comparison, and I think grouping by date is a good idea. Now, when you change the wallpaper for the very first time, what I want you guys to do is pinch in on the home screen and then go to Wallpaper and Style. Tap on Color Palette and enable this feature. And what this feature does is that it picks out the colors that are in the wallpaper and uses them as the theme of your phone. So look at the preview and pick the color palette that you like. Once you are done, you will notice that the theme of your phone will match the colors of your wallpaper, which is really awesome. And if you are wondering, this is just a photo that I've taken myself, and if you want, you can download this from my Flickr account. Alright, so moving on, I also feel that the default clock is kinda boring. So let's change this and make the lock screen look awesome. So what you wanna do is keep your finger on an empty area on the lock screen and then unlock your phone. And you will be presented with a live preview of the lock screen. Here you can tap on the clock and pick something that suits your style. I'm gonna pick this because it looks fun and different. And lastly, let's also match the color with the wallpaper. So check that out, looks awesome, right? And there's a ton of customizability to the point where you can even add widgets to the lock screen itself. I would recommend adding the pedometer, which is inside Samsung Health, and the weather widget on your lock screen. You know what? This is why I love Samsung's One UI. There is just so much that you can customize and play around with. Now, speaking of the lock screen, you might have noticed that the S25 Ultra does not show you any notifications on the lock screen. You kinda have to swipe down to see them. So to cut down on the extra step of swiping down, we can change the way the phone shows notifications on the lock screen by going into the settings, then notifications, and then lock screen notifications. And here, change this from icons to cards, and now the phone will show you all your notifications right here on the lock screen, absolutely no need to swipe down. However, this is a personal choice. If you prefer a clean lock screen, set this to icons, or else cards is the best option if you want to see your notifications right here on the lock screen. Now, you might have noticed that even though we have set this to cards, the actual contents of the notifications are still hidden. So if you want to see the contents of the notifications, head back into the lock screen notifications and then tap on the gear icon in front of show content. Here you want to choose the apps that can show you content in the lock screen notifications. So I've got this enabled for WhatsApp, and now it's going to show us the message contents of WhatsApp on the lock screen. Super useful if you want to quickly glance at your messages right here from the lock screen. So this is a powerful privacy feature, so make sure that you use this according to what's best for you. Samsung Galaxy smartphones have a feature that lights up the edges of the screen whenever the phone gets a new notification, and this makes the phone look awesome, especially at night. But by default, this feature is disabled, so you will have to turn it on. Let me show you how. So drop down the quick panel and head on into the settings and then notifications. Inside, tap on notification pop-up style and make sure that this setting is set to brief. Otherwise, you will not be able to choose the edge lighting. So set this to brief and then tap on edge lighting style to choose the type of edge lighting that you want to see. Now there are plenty of edge lighting styles to choose from. My personal favorite is the glitter effect because this looks phenomenal. Once you select the effect, go to advanced and change the width from narrow to wide and duration from short to long. This makes the glitter effect a little bit thick and makes it last a little bit longer. And lastly, make sure show even while screen is off is enabled if you want to see the effect when the screen is off. I also feel like the UI elements are a little bit too big on the S25 Ultra. I mean, this is a 6.9-inch display and it feels like everything is a bit too zoomed in. Thankfully, we can tweak the size of the UI by going into the display settings and then screen zoom and use this slider to make the items smaller or larger. You want to use this to adjust everything according to what's comfortable according to you. But I prefer the smallest size because it's a big screen phone. And keep in mind, this does not change the size of the font. For that, you want to head on into font size and style and change it from here. And like I said, switching on bold font is definitely gonna help. And same deal with the icons. I feel that they are a little bit too big for a 6.9-inch display phone. Fortunately, One UI 7 has an option, so you can pinch in on the home screen, head on into home screen settings, and adjust the size of the icons from over here. Again, this is a personal choice. I do prefer the smaller icons, so I'm gonna slide this slider to the left. And as you can see, that decreases the size of the icons. Very useful if you don't want your phone to look like a toy. It's really strange, but the S25 Ultra does not come with a dedicated MP3 or a music player. So let's fix that by downloading Samsung Music from the Play Store. You know, this used to come pre-installed on Samsung phones, but for some reason Samsung decided not to include it on their newer smartphones. But yeah, this is a nice music player if you are not into streaming music from Spotify or Amazon Music. Alright, so one thing that I've noticed is that the screen keeps coming on whenever I've got the phone in my hand. This is annoying because it happens frequently and I don't even have my finger on the power button. Fortunately, we can fix this by switching off two settings. So head on into the settings and then scroll down to advanced features. Inside advanced features, tap on motion and gestures. And inside, switch off double tap to turn on screen and lift to wake. And that's it. Now the phone is not gonna wake up by itself whenever you've got it in your hands or in the pocket of your pants. So next, you want to go back into the advanced features and then tap on side button. Then change the long press from digital assistant to the power off menu. Now your phone is going to show you the power off menu when you press and hold the power button on your phone. And again, this is a personal choice. If you use the Google Assistant, then you might want to leave this set to the digital assistant, or else the power off menu is the best option. Also, the other day someone asked, how do you disable the apps that show up in recents? So when you are in this menu, tap on these three dots and then settings. From here, turn off show recommended apps, and now you won't see those apps in the recent menu. I also recommend hiding the navigation bar that appears at the bottom of the screen. The advantage of this is that it gives you more screen area for your content. Look how the keyboard fits properly. So what you want to do is go to settings, then display, scroll down to navigation bar. Now inside here, change the navigation type from buttons to swipe gestures. So swipe gestures are awesome. It turns the edges of the screen into the back key, which makes it very easy to use the phone with one hand. So now swipe in from the edges to go back. Swiping up from the middle takes us to our home screen, and if you swipe up from the middle and hold, that's gonna open up recents. And doing this gesture will let you go back and forth between your recent apps. And lastly, if you wanna hide this navigation hint, what you wanna do is open Galaxy Store on your smartphone and search for Good Lock. Once you find it, download and install it. Then open Good Lock and inside, download the Navstar module. Once you download, open, then tap on swipe gestures and enable the extra gesture settings. Now we're gonna go to the phone settings, then display, and scroll down to navigation bar. Here let's tap on more options and we will switch off the gesture hint. And doing this will hide the navigation gesture hint at the bottom of the screen, giving you a cleaner look. And lastly, if you want to hide the bar that appears at the bottom of the keyboard, then you want to head on into the settings and search for keyboard button on navigation bar. Tap on it and switch off keyboard button on navigation bar along with show button to hide keyboard. And as you can see, this will hide the bar that appears at the bottom of the keyboard, making the keyboard fit at the bottom of the screen. But this is totally up to you. You want to make this change as per your requirement. So you give your phone to someone maybe because they want to make a phone call or browse the web. But instead, they open your gallery and start browsing through your personal photos. And they also might open your messaging app and check out all your private chats. Well, to prevent this exact thing from happening, you can enable a feature called Pin App, which will prevent your naughty friends from accessing your gallery and any other app on your phone. So you can see nothing happens even if I press the home or the back button. So this is a really powerful privacy feature. Now to unpin the app, press and hold the recents and the back button together. And now to access the phone, you will have to enter your biometrics. So there you go, now everything is back to normal. Now this feature is disabled by default, so you will have to enable that by going into the settings and then security and privacy. Inside, you want to scroll down to more security settings, switch on allow apps to be pinned. So after enabling this, the next time you give your phone to someone, make sure to pin the app on the screen so that they cannot access your personal stuff on your smartphone. Alright, so let's stop here because this video is already like 20 minutes long. Stay tuned for the next video because in the next video, I'm going to show you how to customize the home screen. Alright, so thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Tech Guy Charlie signing off.